Ladies and gentlemen, my humble greetings to all of you. Today, I would like to share my thought about Abraham Lincoln. The current president, Mr. Joe Biden, is the 46th president of United States of America. Among all 46 presidents, the world has recognized only one president, Dr. Abraham Lincoln, as a great hero. He is a great hero not only to United States of America, he is a great hero to the entire world. Abraham Lincoln is still living in this world. I mean, he is still living in the minds of the people after 2 centuries are over. Many research survey conducted by the great institutions for the study of leadership with the question, who is or who was the best president in this world? They are conducting this kind of surveys periodically once in 2 years. In the recent past, in 2020, they have conducted. And almost in all survey results show that only Abraham Lincoln taking a top position. Next to him, George Washington of the USA president. So in that way, Abraham Lincoln has created an impact, and he is living in the minds of the people. And this message I have studied somewhere, so that has actually compelled me to study deep into the Abraham Lincoln. So the Abraham Lincoln's actions, his achievements, his contributions, and his humbleness, his ability, and his great leadership, and also his inspiring quotes, all of them are actually inspired me a lot. That is why I wanted to share this video to all of you. So with that inspiration, I'm sharing to all of you. Abraham Lincoln, born in a very poor family. So as a result, he was not able to complete his education with the support of his family. Only by his hard work and his good deeds, he reached the topmost position as president in the United States of America. He was born in very small village on Kentucky near Illinois on 12th February 1809. He was the president of USA for 5 years from 1860 to 1865. In the year 1865, on April 14th, he was shot with a pistol gun on April 14th, 1865. That was a Good Friday. But that Good Friday turned to a bad Friday for him. He was killed. So next day, he died. He was a self-educated lawyer. He was a legislator. He was a voice raiser for abolishing slavery. And he was elected 16th president of USA very shortly before the outbreak of Civil War between North America and South America. His famous Emancipation Proclamation paved the way for slavery abolition, and also the Emancipation Proclamation paved the way for the outbreak of civil war between North and South. At the time of his presidency, North America, all the states in North America stood behind Abraham Lincoln, whereas all the southern states wanted to withdraw from the Union, and they created a separate Confederate States of America, CSA. But Abraham Lincoln didn't like the CSA, but they have broken and they have withdrawn from Union, and they started CSA because they all don't support the violation of, don't support the abolition of slavery. They support slavery system. So, because of that reason, there was an outbreak of civil war. Many people were died in the civil war. Abraham Lincoln led the USA in order to fight with CSA. At last, he defeated CSA, but many people were killed, uncountable number of civilians, and nearly 6 lakhs of soldiers were died. So it was a very toughest time for the president of USA, and Abraham Lincoln, found very difficulties those times. But at last, again, after winning the CSA, and he introduced again the abolition of slavery by way of certain enactments and measures, and finally he succeeded in the abolition of slavery in the southern states of America also. Then he wanted to unite the CSA into coming back to Union again to USA. So in that way, all the southern states were reunited to United States of America. So in that way, this great leader has succeeded in reuniting the United States of America. So as a great leader, he has preserved the Union, and he has abolished the slavery system, and developed a federal government, and he only modernizing the economy of United States of America. So in that 4 aspects, Abraham Lincoln had got a very great success. So at the time of his presidency, I said civil war, and at the time of his presidency, he achieved a lot. And after the war was over, reuniting of southern and the northern part, he succeeded. And that time, there were some pro-Confederate elements. They plotted for his assassination. And one of the pro-Confederate fellow, Mr. John Wilkes Booth, has attempted to assassinate him, and he used his pistol, and he shot at his head. So immediately, his assassination was a very shocking news to the entire country, not only to the entire country, to the entire world. It was a very shocking news. First time in the history of United States of America, such a great leader was killed in violence. It was the first time. Before that, it didn't happen. And his death was mourned in several events. Almost 3 weeks series of mourning events were held in several places. and there was a special train arranged for a funeral train, and in that train his body was kept, and train was moving 15 to 20 kilometer speed, covering nearly 2,700 kilometers from Washington to Springfield, where his body to be buried. So in that way, that funeral train was moving. So one third of the USA population participated in the funeral processions and the funeral services. The funeral services were held not only in Washington. The funeral services were held in almost all cities of USA, particularly in all capitals of all the states, and it took nearly 3 weeks and more than 3 weeks to reach to the Springfield, and at last it reached only on May 3rd to Illinois, and from there his body was taken to Springfield. That is, you know, where his body was interred or buried, and created a Lincoln Dome, right? So Lincoln Dome was made as a state property now, and it was a Lincoln Monument now, memorial place, and it was very fortunate for me to visit that place, and I wanted to visit that place. I wanted to respect his soul, and I wanted to respect and pay my homage to him, and therefore when I visited USA, I spent 3 hours nearly there to pay my homage, and it was a very memorable occasion for me. I will never forget that occasion, and there were 58 steps from bottom to top leading to Lincoln Dome, 58 steps, and the two steps actually meant for 2 terms of presidency of Lincoln, and the remaining 56 steps meant for his age, 1809 to 1865. Okay, so he died on 15th of April, but interred buried on 15th of, May 4th. So May 4th. Okay, so it took nearly 1 month, the funeral services. So in that way, that great leader created a history on his death. So the funeral train has created a history, and this is the entire story of Abraham Lincoln by birth to death. But he has left a legacy to the people, to the entire people, to the people throughout the world. What is the legacy he has left for us? First, he only gave a very precise and beautiful definition for the term democracy. And that definition he has given, and the definition has been taken from his speech. Very short speech he has delivered at the end of the Civil War, in a very important place, in front of the people gathering. He was addressing the people. He said that we are here to resolve because millions of deaths, we are here to resolve that these deaths shall not have died in vain, because this nation under the God shall give a new birth of freedom. That government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall never perish. So government of the people, by the people, for the people shall never perish in this earth. So that was the message given in the speech and taken as a definition, and the entire world is following only that definition as a democracy, for democracy. Okay. Now, that is a legacy he has left for us, for the entire world. And then another very important incident that took place when he was a president of, at the time of his presidency, his father was a shoemaker. This is the only very important incident I would like to tell about him. His father was a shoemaker, and many egoistic people, they were very much worried that the shoemaker's son has become a president of this country, and they were thinking that that is their birthright, holding a highest position in the government of USA. And so when because they're all rich aristocrat people, and they want that they should alone come to the power, and it is that power should not be given to very ordinary or poor man. So in that way they were talking. At that time he was entering into the Senate hall, and people are waiting for his inaugural address. So from the middle, one rich aristocrat stood up and said, "Mr. Lincoln, you don't forget that your father has used to make shoes for our family." So in that way he said. Immediately the entire people in the Senate laughed at Abraham Lincoln and fooled at Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln silently he looked at him, and he said, "Sir, I know that. I know very well that my father has used to make shoes in your home for your family. Not only that, many of us here may be wearing the shoes made by my father. But the only thing is, my father, the way in which my father making shoes, no one else can make. And I want to ask you, do you have any complaint? Because I know how to make shoes. If there is any complaint, I will give a pair of shoes to you." So in that way he has conveyed, and I know about my father because he is a creator, and he is a genuine person, and he has got a passion in his work, and I proud of my father, and there won't be any complaint, I believe, and there won't be any complaint at all. And in that way he will make shoes, because he makes shoes. His shoes are not just shoes, because he put his soul in it. In that way he said. So the entire Senate was struck dumb, and that person who raised the question looking silly now, and he once again insisted, "Why, man, why you are not speaking? Why you are dumb now? Look all around. You wanted to make me fool, but now you have made fool of yourself." In that way he reacted, and all the people in the Senate, they were thinking about the ability of Abraham Lincoln. What a man he was, that Abraham Lincoln. So in that way they were very much wondering that that news would inspire many young people. In that way I would like to share. This is also a legacy left by Abraham Lincoln. So in order to make ourselves set right. And then once Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter to a teacher of his son, because he is joining the school first time. So he says that my son starts today in your school, and he may be new to your school. All activities may be strange to him. You please treat him gently, and you please teach him what are all the requirements of the life. The only requirements are faith, love and courage. You teach him that these are the requirements of the life, and you teach him that for every enemy there will be a friend. You teach him that for every scoundrel there will be a hero, and for every crooked politician there will be a dedicated definitely a dedicated leader, definitely. And it is far more honor to fail than to cheat. You teach him, and this is what Abraham Lincoln says to a teacher. You teach him that it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Teach him to be polite, teach him to be gentle with the gentle people, teach him to be tough with the tough people, and teach him how to laugh when he is in sad mood, and teach him there is no shame in shedding tears. So all those things he was sharing. There can be glory in failures and despair in success. Teach him. There can be glory in failures, but a despair in success. Let him have the courage to impassioned, and let him have the patience to have a courage. Teach him to have a sublime faith in himself, because then he will always have sublime faith in mankind. So these are all the words used by the President of the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, to a teacher. So it is not simply a letter to a teacher about his son. It is a message to almost all teachers in this world, to almost all students, those who are studying this world, how to become a good citizen of this world, how to become a responsible person in this world. In that way, that one letter written by Abraham Lincoln to teacher gives a message to the entire world. So that is also another legacy, what I feel. And then he has given many inspiring quotes. All those quotes are very inspiring, but I am going to here tell you only few important quotes through this video. I am not bound to be, I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live a life with the light what I have. I must stand with anybody who stands for right, and I will stand with him while he is right, but I would part with him when he goes wrong. This is a very beautiful quote he has given, and another important quote. Many of you are aware that you can fool some of the people all the times. You can fool some of the people, all of the times, but you cannot fool all the people all of the times. What a beautiful message he has delivered through this simple quote. And he has stated that the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but it lies in rising in every time we fall. So I repeat, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So very great quote. And he said that my best friend is a person who gives me a book which I have not read. So what a beautiful quote. And when I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. This is my religion. That's what Abraham Lincoln said about religion. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. This is my religion. And very finally, I am going to tell you only one quote, that is, ballot is more stronger than bullet, but a bullet has taken the life of a very great and strong leader, very simply. So Abraham Lincoln, the USA, the United States of America would have lost the president, the people would have lost a great leader, the entire world, but his legacy is still living. Almost 2 centuries are over, and he would be living in the minds of the people in the coming generations, thousands and thousands of years in their minds, because such a great leader we cannot see in the future. So with this message, let me thank all of you. This is N.Markkandeyan signing out. Till we meet again. Thank you.